Welcome to Ladies of Another View, and I'm here today with Mary. Every once in a while, we get the two of us together.
It's awesome.
And Pat Trainer on the end, and I'm going to tell you about him in just a minute. But I want to let you know that later on in the show, we have the director, producer, writer of the new movie coming out, Elijah Peel, that we previewed, and oh my gosh, is it ever awesome. It's showing here in Bismarck and throughout the country. And the Kevin Seppi is going to be on to talk about it. It's a kind of a biographical story in a way. We'll talk more about that. And then for the lighter side, we have the Corn Lady on. And if you don't know who the Corn Lady on, woo, brace yourself. We're going to tell you all about her. But first, I want to introduce our guest, Pat Trainer, who is the HHS commissioner.
Great to be with you.
I didn't look at my notes. I got to make sure I got the title right. Oh, it's wonderful to have you in studio. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, this will be a pleasure.
Yeah,
we're going to have a great conversation.
We're so excited because the two of us, we're both the lead hosts, and we don't lead together very often. And it's like, no, we both wanted to take you. And technically, it was my day, and it's like, I'm selling corn. Patty, will you do it? She goes, absolutely, but you're coming on. We're doing it at 1.
Right, yeah. So
thank you for being here. Then.
Absolutely.
We're excited about the topic, and this is going to be going on for 5 years. So I hope this is the first, and it better not be the last time, because we need to know what's going on in rural North Dakota. And we have people across the country. We have so many people that watch us that are farmers, ranchers. Mary is a farmer and rancher. And we hear from them. We see them on the streets, and they'll go, hey, we watch you all the time. And we do a My Hometown show where we go to the small towns throughout the state and beyond. We've gone to other states, too. So these are really, really important issues. So let's talk about your North Dakota Rural Health Transformation Program that you have going on for 5 years.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity to really improve health and access to care, particularly in the rural area. When you think about it, if a rural community loses its hospital and clinic, you're done developing. I mean, the schools shortly thereafter. So this is a #1 issue in our state, and we really want care closest to home. And that happens to be one of the themes, throughout the Rural Health Transformation Program. This was submitted last fall to the feds. So you remember that they were in a government shutdown. So we actually submitted it a few days before the deadline was November 5th. So it really has 4 pieces of the, I call them pillars, of this application. And so #1 would be our healthcare workforce. You can't have healthcare without a great workforce. And so I've talked to many CEOs of healthcare facilities, and their #1, they said, Pat, quit saying it's a shortage. It's actually a crisis. The lack of healthcare workers all across the state, and particularly more pronounced in the rural area. So healthcare workforce, recruitment, retention, the pipeline, everything, growing your own, because those are the most likely to go back to the rural area. That's a critical component, and that happens to be the first pillar. And the second pillar would be make North Dakota healthy again. So it's really working on prevention, and really lifestyle's everything.
If I can interrupt, because
Yes.
everyone, when you say make North Dakota healthy again, everyone thinks it's Donald Trump make America great again. But it's not. This is bipartisan, and it's absolutely, this is for the left, this is for the right. We just want everyone to be healthy. We don't care what side of the aisle you're on.
Absolutely.
We want rural people to be healthy.
Yes, we absolutely do. And so you'll see things that are prevention things like, did you know walking can reduce most of the incidence of chronic disease? Just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And if we can make that contagious through walking campaigns, through all sorts of things and activities that we're doing, and then diet, healthy whole food. I mean, it's really important. Healthy sweet corn.
That's right.
that's
Some say it's high in carbs, but it's only a couple weeks out of the year you can eat as much sweet corn as you want.
That's right. So moving, eating, no smoking, and really social connection. And then there's training for parents. Really, how do we lead our families in a world where we're addicted to these devices? And there's really a battle going on for our attention. So there's even training, for parents in this. And so those would be grants out to groups that would be able to do those sorts of things. And then the next pillar is really the safety, ensuring the safety net and care closest to home. So all sorts of things, like we got to have a good rural EMS system. That's a huge thing. There's a crisis in getting enough people trained so that they can adequately respond, because we know that seconds count in saving lives. And then all sorts of technology connected to that. So the fit up of ambulances, the latest and greatest, so we can do home patient monitoring. And then the last pillar would be connecting tech, data, and providers for a much healthier North Dakota, so that we're really able to show, okay, where are more things happening, and how can we be really good about the incidence of different types of disease, and then looking at ways to prevent them, and getting really doctors and nurse practitioners and people to have the person's electronic medical record right in front of them, so that if they have to be transported somewhere, it's all connected in a data hub across North Dakota. And that's just one of many. There's a lot of more complicated stuff that the healthcare administrators and physicians would get very excited about. But it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to build that infrastructure so we can have care that is actually even using AI, like predictive. So when someone presents themselves in a primary care clinic in the rural area, they can pull up the chart and actually say, you know, we might want to, if you go on like this based on your current blood work, you know, you're going to end up with diabetes type 2. So we'd like to intervene earlier so that that doesn't happen with lifestyle medicine. Walking, no smoking, not excessive drinking, social connection, and really keep people in their home community much longer and out of the higher levels of care, you know, basic care and long-term care, so that people can be in their home. I mean, there's no place like home. So those are kind of the four. And that I just wanted.
Are singing our tune. We do a lighter side at the end of every show, and everything you said, from walking and even, I always talk about some of the studies, just being outside, that people heal faster after surgeries. They've done comparative stuff. That social connection is the #1 predictor of longevity, is the social connection above everything else. But when you put them all together, it's so powerful, and you feel better and you're healthier.
It really is.
100%. And a lot of people, they just have bad habits, or they're not really aware of how these little changes can make their life more enjoyable, healthier, more enjoyable. They're going to be happier. And I used to write for the North Dakota Rural Electric magazine years ago, North Dakota Living, when I first came here. And that was one of the topics, is keeping medical personnel, keeping the schools and the hospitals or some kind of medical facility open, that is the health of the community. And we see it all the time. There are people that come here from all over to live in the small towns because they like it. There's a real quality of living there when you get away from the bigger cities. But as long as they have good health care, that's what counts.
Again,
right?
Care closest to home.
Yeah.
So then they're accessing care right away before it becomes a crisis. So that's part of prevention too, is using your hometown clinic, your rural clinic, and your critical access hospital, and your, whether there's a federally qualified community health center, there's a few of those across North Dakota. We want people to make sure that they're preserving that care closest to home. So Rural Health Transformation Program has funding available to make sure that we have
one of the things that
years.
struck me is on your first pillar, it's the workforce, and you want to keep
Yes.
them close to home. However, we all know that there's a problem in small communities. There's not enough housing or appropriate housing. Do you address that in any way?
Housing is not one of the things because it's a little bit next to healthcare.
Right.
But actually, what we will address is childcare. So there's ways for the local healthcare facility to work with other entities in the community to set up a childcare, so that then they can retain. So when we think of workforce, we think of pipeline. So recruitment, retention, and then growing your own. So if you grow your own and you have a commitment to learning and growing and having a culture of that, you can keep people happy and healthy and part of your team. And that's really, and there's even money for training for that. So it's a tremendous opportunity.
We're going to talk more about this and how this is some of the plans in place to make this happen when we come back. Don't go away.
We're not some big city operation with a call center that doesn't even know where North Dakota is. We're Beck, built and rooted in rural North Dakota. We're your neighbors, your cooperative, working together for more than 70 years to keep you connected to what matters most in your life. Our Beck Fiber is more than just internet service. It's what you rely on every day. And if you ever have a question, we're just down the road, ready to help. Beck Communications. Committed to you because we're local too.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Yeah, U.S. Cattlemen is a member organization that each member has a vote in anything we do with policy. We're representing the independent cattleman or the cow-calf guy or an independent feeder or whatever. We like to support the independent producer. Talking about mandatory ID, we're talking about cool, we're talking about all the legislation that's going to be coming down with the new administration. There's going to be lots of moving and shaking, so always check us out at our website, uscattleman.org.
Come on in and experience small-town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
When I first decided to invest in gold, I was a bit nervous and unsure how to start. Luckily, I found Noble Gold Investments. From the very first call, they made investing easy. No pushy sales tactics, no gimmicks, and no confusing free silver offers with hidden fees. Just honest advice tailored to my needs, giving me confidence every step of the way. If you're new to gold investing or want a partner you can trust, visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
Welcome to where classy meets Wild West. Buffalo Gypsy Boutique of Bismarck has clothing, decor, and gifts ranging from sophisticated boho style to fun and flashy. Our exclusive brands such as Scully, Double D Ranch, and Tanner Mark provide standout style for the whole family, right down to the little ones. We always have a great selection of Kimes denim, and we proudly offer American-made jewelry and artwork. Find Buffalo Gypsy classing up North Bismarck just off Highway 83.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and we are with our guest, Pat Trainer, who is North Dakota's Health and Human Services Commissioner, talking about the 5-year Rural Health Transformation Plan. It is so exciting because it's about being healthy, getting people connected with the kind of medical care they need, and keeping small communities healthy. Because if you need health all the way around, and you need good medical care for the communities, right?
You absolutely do. I mean, if we don't have people, you know, to go see in the rural area for our healthcare needs, then we're going to delay it. We're going to avoid it until it's a crisis. So it's so important to have that primary care and the emergent care. You know, like if we got to deliver a baby, they won't have obstetrics, maybe high risk, you know, patients for high risk pregnancies, but they can also associate in through telemedicine, you know, the great physicians that exist in the big hospitals across the state. So you really can take most of that time getting that care at home by associating in these even the specialty care. So what Rural Health Transformation Program affords is the opportunity to fund the fit up, you know, all the technology, the devices, even home patient monitoring devices, so that you really don't have to travel 70, 80, 100 miles, you know, to the nearest larger medical facility, but you can still associate with them and then keep that care in the local the local community.
So I'm in part of District 31, which is Elgin, and Representative Rohr was really instrumental in getting the information together to save that hospital, and then she handed it over to Senator Shively for the appropriations. So that was a big deal for Elgin, North Dakota, because they are, you're singing their tune. It's like they were on the verge of losing their hospital and they were able to save it. And it's just it's like if you have that heart attack, you have a place to go, and then you can get access to the bigger hospital if they need the ambulance or a helicopter or whatnot. But so very grateful in those small communities to keep their hospitals and their clinics.
No question, and what we don't want to have are more hospitals across critical access hospitals in jeopardy. So in fact, one of our pillars, you know, in terms of the ensuring care closer to home is to do an assessment of all critical access hospitals with a consulting firm, so that each group then can assess where they are and a bright lit path forward to be not only viable and sustainable, but ultimately thrivable. So we'll start with an assessment of each hospital, and again, that's between them and the consultant, not really with the state per se. But what we'll do with that is make sure we're developing their revenue streams so they can break even, and then they can go to thriving. And so we've contracted with an individual named Jake Kubik to train each and every one of them in philanthropy.
Yeah, I know Jake.
We know
really
Jake.
well.
You know Jake.
Yeah.
So what a small
He's everywhere.
world.
He's
what
everywhere.
a small
Yeah.
world it is. So the idea is, look, you get one estate gift, and it's a game changer for a rural community. I mean, we look at the large ones like Denny Sanford, who just passed away, and you know, Sanford Health, and billions of dollars and a fortune. But you literally can have a few families that say, you know what, we're going to donate a quarter of land after the second person passes, and it's a game changer because land prices have gone through the roof, as we all know. And that can be one of those tremendous unlimited potential in our own backyard to sustain the rural healthcare facility, because we really don't want to be dependent on the federal government, you know, and some of the dollars associated through that, or an insurance company. We really want to be able to have the critical access hospitals determining their destiny, and this is one of those avenues that's unlimited, really.
Sure. So what do you say to those people who don't like everybody to have all their information? Because, you know, there's so many conspiracy theories and
Yes.
whatnot, and people say, no, I don't want them to have all my information. But when you talk about the tech and the data and the providers and it's all together, it's like if I am on vacation in Dallas, they put in your information and your records from North Dakota would pop up too,
Yes.
right? Is that how that works?
Well, how it works is each facility then have protocols that would allow for we don't want my stuff shared. So like if they're on a trip, you know, and they're in Florida, they could give permission if something happened, you know, ahead of time. So there are protocols in play to prevent that from happening. And it's really important that we work on security, because that really is protected health information. So each one of those critical access hospitals will have and do have protocols in place where the patient decides the level of disclosure.
Sure.
So that's sacrosanct, and we should
So in Ashley, and I mentioned during the break that Ashley Medical Center, they have training that starts in high school, and they have do hands-on stuff, and so they have figured out a way to get their nurses and CNAs and really get the medical staff that they need, the EMTs. So is that something that through your program can have more of that created? So homegrown. And the other question is another program that I know about is getting doctors and nurses to have some of their medical loans paid off if they spend 2 years in a small community. Are programs like that something that you'll be able to help encourage?
Yes. First of all, the Grow Your Own, Train in Place. Those programs can be funded through the Rural Health Transformation Program. So what Ashley's done is taken a leadership role because they've already done some of those things. And so we could expand that. We're not supposed to supplant current things, but we could provide dollars to expand that. And all the studies show that if you do your residency and it includes those rotations, you know, in the rural area, and particularly if they meet someone, you know, that might be their future spouse, then they've planted maybe some seeds for that quality of life per se. And it's a terrific thing. So we will expand rural rotations through the Rural Health Transformation Program. And then there are also dollars. In fact, one of our opportunities that CMS is just reviewing now, and we got a ton of applications from the critical access hospitals, and that those are retention grants. So the idea of providing incentives for your current workforce, cash incentives to stay. And what the federal government requires is a 5-year commitment. And I know 5 years is a long time.
It goes fast
in today's day and age, but that's one of the requirements. And there's ways to make sure you do that such that you're, you know, keeping people and you're growing them. And so there's dollars for the training, specialty training, and then again, to have, there's even dollars for mentoring programs if you feel isolated as a practitioner in a rural area, which can happen, particularly new family medicine doctors, nurse practitioners, that they can use technology to associate in with mentors. And so that's another one that's available. Just the University of North Dakota, as long as we're talking workforce, we contracted with them to actually ascertain where we are with workforce. So I told you the CEOs said we're in a crisis, with healthcare workforce. So we'll have that out, and Jacob Warren is the head of the UND Rural Health. It'll be a great interview for you. That'll be out in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, wonderful.
So we'll know where the shortages are, which positions. It's not just doctors, it's nurses, it's CNAs, it's med techs. All those kinds of important positions.
So we only have a couple minutes left, but I always go back to housing because that's a struggle with small communities. They don't have housing for teachers or medical staff. And so one of the things I had suggested was maybe, there's a lot of people who want to donate money. And rather than, go to these big football fields in the bigger towns, maybe they could have housing for doctors and teachers in these smaller communities, because it is hard to find housing and to retain. When you retain those people, they have to have a place to live as well. And that's the struggle for small communities. So that's something that even if they're coming to your community, find housing. Maybe there's flippers in your community that can take some of those older homes and flip them so that you have great medical teams and teachers coming to your community.
Yeah, and I think the way that indirectly this could be encouraged is the incentives will be out in the next year for recruitment. In the first year, we did retention because we don't want to just move people around North Dakota and have them competing against one another for recruitment. So we came out with the retention grants first, but recruitment grants will be out so that then they can get incentive to come there and use some of those dollars for their housing.
Wonderful.
You follow me?
Wonderful.
It's
Absolutely.
indirect.
Yep.
I'm excited because it's quality of life. North Dakota, I think the small towns are the backbone of our state. We're not smothered by the bigger cities. Thank you, Pat, for joining us, and I hope you'll stay in touch with us so we can see how the program's going.
Absolutely.
Do you have a final thought you want to share with our viewers real quickly?
Well, I like what you said about donors stepping up, because that's unlimited. Let's encourage people to be a part of their healthcare facility and that infrastructure. So as you know, I'm a charity champion.
Yeah, there you go, and save those small communities. And it takes people stepping up, donating. It could be, so many head of cattle every year, or maybe a piece of land or whatnot. But there's a lot of various different ways. You can donate a load of wheat. And it's a win-win for everybody.
And it's a way for the alumni of these small towns to keep their town going. So thank you, Pat, for joining us.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
All right, thank you.
When we come back, we're going to be visiting with Kevin Seepy, who is the director and writer of Elijah Peel, new movie coming out. So stay with us.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
When there's a storm on the horizon, you typically don't get a lot of advance notice. So you brace yourself as best you can and rebuild when it's over. Times like these are what insurance is for, the protection of our livelihoods, our families, our homes, and our lives. We support our community coming together in times of need. As an independent insurance agency, we tailor our services to your needs. At Dakota Community Insurance, we can help you weather the storm. Talk to one of our agents today.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Let's be frank, it's a pain to be without your vehicle after an accident. That's why you should take it to Jerome's Collision Center. Our shop is supersized and we have the qualified staff to fill it up and work on your vehicle. step by step, piece by piece, in crazy fast time without sacrificing quality. When you need us, we'll turn your bad experience into a good one. We're Jerome's Collision Center, and we're the best at what we do.
Hey, I'm Corey Heppola, and I grew up in a small town.
This road used to be gravel.
But a long time ago, I left to live in a big city. Now, I wonder...
Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't have nice things.
What would it be like to move back?
Man, it's mad love up in here.
So, I'm traveling to different small towns across the Midwest to find out. Because what do I really know about rural living? Oh. The people.
If there is anything that you can say about this town, it's that we take care of each other.
The innovation.
So none of this equipment even existed.
And the opportunities.
It's like every year in the spring, there's always like a revitalization of just excitement.
This is my town.
Oh! Oh, jeez! You were close.
7 episodes. Sunday night, 6:30 on Beck TV.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and I am so excited about this movie coming out August 14th, one day only in theaters across the country. It's going to be here in Bismarck. Elijah Peel, and it's inspired by a true story. We're going to have next segment, Kevin Seppi is going to be joining us, and he's the writer and the producer, and I'm trying to think of the Duck Dynasty family, the Robertsons.
Oh, yes.
They also were producers of the movie. So good. I'm gonna let you watch the trailer, and then we'll talk about it on the other end.
Perfect.
This is the story of Elijah Peel, the famous rock star.
Rock and roll!
But when I first met him, he didn't look famous at all.
Where am I?
Hello, Elijah Peel.
Hello, young lady.
My name is Jessica. They say you were self-destructive. Too many girls, too much partying.
I think someone's been watching a bit too much telly.
I thought you might need to pick me up.
You should be asleep, but that's a job well done. So I say, hey, we are the wild ones. We are the free ones. So let's just be one. I really think I found the new Elijah Peel, and it's really good.
What is this music? Tell that holy roller he's got 3 weeks to get me a pop record or he's finished.
It is good. I was just writing a song with you in mind.
What's it for? Beauty and the Beast 2?
How about you keep your day job of being a giant pain in my rear end?
She's dying, Mr. Peel, dying.
Like a soul without a savior, searching for a...
So, can I hear your music?
You mean that thing what no one likes? My hand out to an angel.
Got it.
Jessica! Jessica!
Where's Jessica?
Just had a moment.
Jessica, open up this door.
She's in good company.
Thought you died, man.
My savior said to me,
Just wrote me a song.
bring me your treasure. Guys, help!
She can't breathe. She can't breathe.
Bring me all your gold. I want to help, okay? Please, if you will let me help. Oh, life too short. A life too short. And a story too old. Hey there, sleepyhead.
Some things new.
I'm new.
A new heart.
Yeah, that's right.
So Robert Malcolm Cummings plays the main character. Beautiful British accent, and it's all fake. I was like, I saw him in an interview, and it's like, he is not British, but man, does he do that well. But Kevin Seppi himself had brushes with death, drugs, just a crazy lifestyle. He's a Miami-based writer, producer, and so he also found redemption and sobriety. This movie was inspired by his own experiences. And so I just love it. It's so good.
Well, it's so amazing. And you find that sometimes in that hospital setting and whatnot, there's people who might have a terminal illness or whatnot, and they connect and they help each other get through some of the lowest points in their life. So this little girl helps him, and it's just very heartwarming.
You know, so often if you've ever been around children who are terminal, there is a spirit about them, a calm, a beauty, this connection that they have with the supernatural, that this little girl she did it so beautifully how that came out. And he's trying to come to grips with having a heart attack at 30. And oh my gosh, and he's lived such a horrible, decadent lifestyle. And she's trying to bring Jesus to him in just little ways. It doesn't hit you over the head, but it's there. And I love it that we don't have to pretend it's not there. But at the same time, the movie shows it in a very real way. And Kevin would know, the writer and producer, because he experienced it in a real way.
Right, and it's such a subtle way, and they're just so innocent. Like you said, I even have a daughter who, when she was younger, used to see angels all the time. And one time we were on our way to town, and she was looking up in the sky, and she was sitting in the front seat and probably should have been in the back seat. But anyway, she was looking. I said, "What are you looking at?" She says, "Oh, there's 3 angels up there." I says, "Well, what are they doing?" And she looks again. She goes, "They're taking that dead guy to heaven."
Oh my gosh.
That was Claire. And so these young children see things that we never do, or maybe we did as when we were younger, but we don't see them anymore. It's just the innocence. And sometimes it takes like that soft little girl to bring this, this hardcore partier. They said too many girls and too much partying. And he said, maybe I just have too much talent. And it's like, so it's just nice. Like you said, nobody's slamming him over the head to try to change him, but this little girl just, kind of floats into his life and changes him.
And saying things maybe brutally honest, because she's not filtering it in a way that, oh, he's famous and we want to get along with him. And no, she's brings up Jesus to him, and he doesn't want to go there, so they go somewhere else. But it's a part of her. And when we talk about that childlike innocence, but I think when a child has a terminal illness, there's a certain wisdom that comes to them too, a peace and wisdom. That is the grace of God that really comes through in this movie and becomes the guiding light for him. And we do so oftentimes, whether it's the lighter side or we've had guests on, who really seem like they were hopeless or at least pretty decadent and leading a bad life. And then seeing on the other side how they find redemption and peace and health, that it can happen. So just love those kind of movies. So Kevin is actually going to join us when we come back right after these messages, so don't go away.
I can't wait.
You know the rule. No phones at the dinner table.
I know, I'm sorry. It's just Noble Gold Investments. I bought some gold for the kids.
Finally.
Well, the gold you bought me gives me so much security in this economic disaster we're having. I want that for them too.
Well, I've been investing with Noble Gold Investments for years, and I'm pretty sure they can wait until after lunch.
Invest in something you can hold. Invest in Noble Gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to learn more.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
Find relief for what ails you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Teas, supplements, tinctures, and more, formulated to fight whatever has you down. We're Bismarck Mandan's favorite place to find delicious, natural, and easy ways to alleviate symptoms brought on by anything from colds to cancer. Brew a better you at Steep Me Tea Apothecary. Steep Me products may cause side effects, including but not limited to improved mood, deeper sleep, enhanced hydration, renewed sense of smell, increased energy levels, superior balance, boosted immunity, proper digestion, restored sense of calm, and a delightful smelling home.
Welcome to Radiant Retreat Tanning and Spa in Mandan, where a relaxing spa experience meets the latest in healing innovations. Take total control of your massage in our Hydro Massage Bed. Experience whole body healing in our Zero Body Cryo Bed. Let our salt sauna and Halo generator restore your respiratory and skin health. And of course, tailored tanning will keep you looking as good as you feel. Discover your best self at Radiant Retreat, 1307 1st Street Northeast, Mandan.
We're from North Dakota, where 12,000 workers bring electricity to 2 million customers and provide over $5 billion in economic activity to the state, while reclaiming 22,000 acres of land. This is coal country.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and as promised, we're going to be joined by Kevin Sepe, who is the director, the producer, the writer. The beautiful, beautiful song. Okay, I'm just going to have you come on and you can tell us more about it. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here. Very happy to be here.
The song is "The Life Too Short," right?
That's one of them. Yes, that's like the theme song for that. I wouldn't say theme, but it is the bigger performance of the film. Yes, A Life Too Short and A Story Too Old.
That is one of the most incredible songs, and I get tears every time I hear it. And you wrote that song, so you're extremely talented, and you are a former party like a rock star drug addict, right?
Well, yeah, that's all very true. I've had a lot of big successes in my life and a lot of big excesses in my life as a result of really being very sick. In the world of addiction, and it's a very, very tough spiral when you're in it. And I think Elijah Peel, the film, explores that and unashamedly demonstrates like what it feels like to be living within that excess, that sort of lack of control over what where you are at the moment, and of course the near death that can and does occur when you're suffering from addictions of any kind, and particularly these addictions, which are alcohol and drugs in this film.
I know it just starts out, back in the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s myself, and it was always, not that I did it, but drugs, sex, and rock and roll was a big thing. And so I was with the Hairball bands or listened to those, and whatnot. And so I grew up, I think my first concert was Ted Nugent, and he's sober too, by the way.
He's from Detroit, where I'm from. Yeah.
And so a great guy, and Van Halen, and I think Styx and whatnot. But anyway, it was big then, and a lot of people took drugs basically to stay awake. Like you party all night, and then you take drugs during the day to kind of stay awake to get through the next concert. Is that kind of how that works? And then it just spirals from there? Or explain how the process, because most of these people are good Christian families, and they get into a rock band and boom, things explode.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with rock and roll. I think it has to do with being predisposed to addiction. There's addiction genes and all that stuff. Like one person can have a drink and, or four, and then they go home and go to sleep. But the addict, inexplicably, you find out you're an addict because while everybody else goes home, you can't stop. It's not that you don't want to, it's that it's impossible. And so it gets to that point. It's not necessarily right from the second you do it. Although with me, I knew there was something different about me from the very first time I had a beer, because everybody else went home and I kept going and going and going and going until I got sick and threw up and passed out. So I just didn't know what it was. I just didn't know what it was that made that happen. And it took me a long, long time of a lot of pain and suffering and, humiliation, shame, to finally understand there was a name for it. And that was alcoholism and addiction. And until I understood that was a thing, that there was a actual disease throughout that process, those decade and a half of living like that and never understanding what happened to me. Why me and nobody else? Or why me and other people like me and 90% of the rest of the world could go home and go to their families and go to work the next day. That was my case.
Because you're surrounded by it, and it's like, no, I'm not going to stop doing this, because then your whole life has to change. And that really came across in Elijah Peel, that his whole world then became different, to the point where he's going to make different music now, and he's getting rejected in the beginning. And I would assume that to a certain extent, and this is very reflecting, and you wrote the movie, right, because it really is telling some of your own story. It's very personal for you to make that kind of transition. And you made it real, where God comes into your life. How does that look? I mean, for some people,
through a
little girl who is so wise and so beautiful. And I know from people I know who've lost children, they become so wise. There's something special. God gives them grace when they have some kind of serious illness like that, and they're so young. They seem to be the strong ones. As a matter of fact, we're going to watch a clip from the movie, and we'll talk some more about it on the other end.
I still remember how happy he was, even though he was really, really sick. So maybe just don't quit. Just take a break.
How did you get to be so amazing, so wise?
I pray every day and ask God questions, and he answers me. I know where I'm going when I die is a good place, so I'm not scared.
Now I am afraid of my own shadow. But, hey, I'm really leaving. This isn't goodbye, it's just goodbye for now. Okay? And I want to thank you for everything. Sweet, sweet girl.
So that is Robert Malcolm Cumming, and he doesn't even really have that accent in real life, right?
That's right.
Oh my! When I heard him speaking without that accent, I thought, what? How did he pull that off so perfectly?
From Michigan.
Oh, I'm from Michigan.
Yeah.
And there's a Michigan accent out there, and he definitely got rid of it for the movie. So, how did you? You wanted to write this movie to kind of reflect and tell your story, right? And how did you want it to come across? And I think you did it very, very well. Will you start to bring God in it in a way that it's not corny and schmaltzy, but very real?
Well, it's done through the little girl, and I think it's such it's a reflection of how a lot of change occurs in my life, because God will get you in a place of attention. In this case, he had Elijah captive, where he couldn't get away from it. He had him captive in a hospital bed with tubes. And then it became, well, who is the messenger? Who's going to be delivering God's word to this rock star that has heard it from everybody and has rejected everybody? And it couldn't have come from a better little angel and a better messenger than a terminally ill, angelic little girl like that, where you could not get mad at her. You had to pay attention to her because you knew that her perspective was so unbelievably pure. And where it came from, her, the bravery and the spirit within some little girl who knows she's dying. Because you see all that right from the top, right? He meets her, he wakes up and here's a bald little girl on his face. And he knows instantly, like, okay, this is a girl who's in big trouble medically. She's probably dying. And here she is joking, being sweet, having this perfect sense of timing, and is engaging him without fear because he's a superstar. And so she has no fear. She's dying. And so they're almost on equal terms right there. And that is why, and not just equal terms, but because it comes from this beautiful face and this sweet place of love that is pure, it penetrates his sort of barrier that he's had his whole life.
Left, what would you like our viewers to know, and where can they watch the movie? And we know it's being released here really soon. We got 30 seconds.
Open your heart, bring somebody who's hurting, and go see this movie. It will make you feel amazing. You will feel better about life and about yourself and and the relationship with the Lord Jesus. And bring somebody. The film starts tomorrow.
August 14th. August 14th.
Yep.
Go see it. Thank you. Go to the website, ElijahPeelMovie.com. Thank you, Kevin. You did an amazing job, and I know our viewers are going to go see it.
I wish we had more time. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. Bye. We'll be back coming up next for the lighter side.
Me and my son were making a switch to natural deodorants, moving away from the aluminum products, the unhealthy ingredients, flip the bottle over, can't pronounce anything on there. And so we started trying different products that were in the marketplace. And each one of them was really disappointing. We spent a really long time working with our chemist, as you mentioned, to come up with a product that hits all the things that men are looking for when you're using a natural deodorant. Longevity, smells great, healthy for you, doesn't have any aluminum, whether it be the man making the purchase or the women making the purchase, because they know that this fits the family branding of who they are as people. You can go to masculinemanessentials.com, use code LADIES10 for 10% off, and we really appreciate your support.
West River Equipment of Mandan is here to help you maintain peak productivity in your operation. As an authorized dealer for many high-quality equipment lines, we have the new and used equipment it takes to make your farming, ranching, or construction operation profitable and efficient. West River Equipment also has the parts on hand and the experienced technicians in our shop to get your equipment back in action fast. Find what you need at West River Equipment on Old Red Trail in Mandan.
There's never been a better time to rediscover the style, reliability, and all-season, all-terrain fun of the all-new Nissan lineup at the new and improved Ryan Nissan. Whether it's the sleek and stylish Murano, the adventure-ready Pathfinder, or the reimagined, ready-for-anything 2026 Rogue, the all-new Ryan Nissan has the vehicle of your dreams at a price perfect for any budget. It's time to rediscover your passion for the road. It's time to rediscover the all-new Ryan Nissan, engineered to endure.
Welcome to Where Classy Meets Wild West. Buffalo Gypsy Boutique of Bismarck has clothing, decor, and gifts ranging from sophisticated boho style to fun and flashy. Our exclusive brands such as Scully, Double D Ranch, and Tanner Mark provide standout style for the whole family, right down to the little ones. We always have a great selection of Kimes denim, and we proudly offer American-made jewelry and artwork. Find Buffalo Gypsy classing up North Bismarck just off Highway 83. Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and it's time for the lighter side, although I think it was a pretty light show today.
It was. It was a great show. It's always learning. It's great to learn more about small communities and saving small communities, for that matter. You know, we do the My Hometown series, and that's what that's all about too.
Yes.
And then, of course, to learn about that movie. It is so heartwarming. You have got to see that. It's amazing.
I highly, highly recommend it, and I wouldn't do that if I didn't mean it. It's going to bring a little tears here and there, but it's so uplifting and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what else is beautiful? Corn. Corn is beautiful.
Speaking
and we
of
have
tears.
The corn lady. Yeah, the tears come on your end. I can only imagine all the work, because you sell out. You typically sell out. You've got lines and lines of people. Tell us, why are you called the Corn Lady? What's this all about?
Well, because I sell sweet corn, and it just kind of was something that stuck. And it's like, well, you know, it's like, well, you know her. She's the Corn Lady. And it's like, so the Corn Lady stuck. So we kind of just, with our corn truck, then we put the Corn Lady, sweet corn. And it's like, everyone knows me as the Corn Lady. And this is kind of funny. When I started working for Beck, Derek Bolawa, the CEO here at Beck, he said, "Now, Mary, you have to understand, people are going to come up to you and they're going to recognize you out and about." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I know. I'm the Corn Lady." And he goes, "No, you don't understand. You're going to be just in, you know, Target or at a restaurant, and they're going to come up to you." And I say, "Oh, I know, Derek. I'm the Corn Lady." Anyway, so we went out for supper one time together, and we're sitting at a restaurant. Some guy comes up and he says, "Aren't you the Corn Lady?" And it's like, "Yes, I'm the Corn Lady." So Derek just started laughing, because it is true. And it's like because it's that one time a year, right? It's just one time a year for a couple of weeks. And they don't know me personally, but they know that I sell the sweet corn. It's like, oh, hey, she's the Corn Lady.
It's so good. And if you have not had just picked corn, it makes a big difference, because my husband had a big garden, and one year he grew corn. What a difference. Even if it's fresh local corn, but it's in the store, when it's been sitting there for hours, it's not the same. It starts to, I don't know what it does.
Well, it's organic, so it starts to heat up or ferment. Like if you chop the corn, you put it in, you take any fruits or vegetables, and the minute you pick them, they start dying. And so that's why you pick in the morning, you know, because it's fresher that way.
This lady, if you could have seen her right before the show, she had a t-shirt on. And
I'm still pretty scraggly, this hair, but, you know, we made it do.
But you start your day picking corn.
Yes.
And then you go out, you've got them all bagged, and you've got people that help you, but you are out in the fields picking corn. And I'm telling you, so I don't know if this is okay to say on the air or not, but when Mark had his corn, when you have kids in diapers and you change the diapers, you realize, oh, the corn it comes out looking like it went in. But I was amazed with fresh corn, it's fully digested. And that just goes to show you the
not
difference
just any
in fresh corn.
But because some corns do, some corns don't. And not to get real graphic, but you usually see corn coming out the backside. My corn, you usually don't.
No, because it's fully digested.
Right, and it's very tender. And so it's something else. But these are just some of the people that were helping us. Like that little guy right there is actually Sinclair. So our producer in the back room, that's his little guy. They stopped by yesterday to get some of this video. So his wife came, and his little son and his little daughter, and they ended up staying and helping for the entire time, which was, I think, about an hour and a half. But people show up with their wagons.
Look at these wagons, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. And some of those people had been sitting there for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
I was running late. This was a couple days ago, or last week. I don't know. Every day runs the same around here. But that was the first day that I was selling, and we had put it on Facebook, you know, bring a wagon, bring this or bring that, but we had a really tough time. We had a few worms in our corn, so we're actually we're opening every single one now, so it's taking twice as long to pack it into the bags. And that was the only good thing about COVID. We started packaging it out on the ranch, and so that it's really speeds things up in town. So once you see that line, it goes through really, really fast. But then here's something that a lot of the customers didn't know. My brakes went out yesterday on my truck. And so it does have air brakes, but there's a cylinder cylinder in the back that was leaking. And so they filled it up with the brake fluid. And so I was able to get to town. And then I also had the emergency brake if things would have went awry, but they didn't. Anyway, so then I took that truck in and that's getting repaired. So there's always, I had 27 people helping in the morning. A lot of people just see us there, with a couple, 2, 3, 5 people helping. But every morning there's 27 people that show up. About 5 of them are there at 6 o'clock to start in the field. And the other 22 people are around the trailer shucking it and putting it in the bags and checking it for
Wow, what an adventure from start to finish. And back, Ladies of Another View has the actual corn lady here, the only one in the country, and we have got her. You get to watch her, and I get to co-host with her.
Oh, you're so sweet.
So, but I want to just also bring up to you guys, we were nominated once again for Best of the Best to the Bismarck Tribune contest, and for a 6th year in a row. My goodness.
Well, and it's amazing because honestly, even at my corn stand, they come up and they say, "Oh, we watch your show, we love your show." And there was one gal the first day, she goes, I don't watch all of the shows on Beck, but I always watch your show. So that was really super cool.
I have people say that too. So yeah, that means a lot. I mean, we love our audience. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So anyways, thank you for being here and for all the good corn. If you can, how do they connect with you?
Well,
quickly?
find me on Facebook, Mary Grainer's Sweet Corn. Take a look at that, and there it is. There's everything. $9 a dozen. Monday through Saturday. We're closed on Sundays. I take cash, checks, Venmo, PayPal. I just don't have the card reader, so I can't do that. But we're there. We try to get there about 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. Until we sell out. And the first week, it's always super fast. The second week, it does slow down quite a bit. So
yeah, you don't want to miss Mary's Sweet Corn. It is the sweetest.
Thank you so much, Patty. I really appreciate that.
I love you, Corn. Okay, we'll be back. No, we're not going to be back. We'll be back again tomorrow. But thank you for joining us today with Ladies of Another View on Beck.
Now go save your country and buy some sweet corn.
Ashley, North Dakota is where life moves a little slower, but never gets dull. From hunting, camping, and fishing to safe streets where kids can be kids, this is the best of small town living. And Ashley offers everything you need, from healthcare to hardware to countless ways to stay active. Here, we've invested in our future with major upgrades to roads, parks, and education. Whether you're here for the day or here for life, you'll find Ashley's where you ought to be.
We are the St. Mary Sisters. We are building a new facility here in Bismarck, North Dakota, for the sake of training young women to be courageous teachers in this state. The sisters will educate the younger generation to be fully alive through truth and discipline. The sisters' life of devotion and joy will make a positive difference in your community. Check out what we're up to, see what's going on, and join our mission to make a difference in the lives of the children of North Dakota.
I'm Gary Emmett, host of Open Range. We've been at this for the past couple years. Representative Matt Heilman of Bismarck and former legislator Brandon Pritchard are going to do some regular segments on Open Range. While we cover a lot of politics, we're still going to be continued doing mostly all things North Dakota. One exception, Friday evening, I'll be doing a new show on Open Range called On the Horn. This show will be long interviews of 3 to 5 hours with the people I'm interviewing. They'll be airing week after week on that Friday evening. So thank you for being a part of the Beck TV and Open Range family.
Come on in and experience small town hospitality and the personalized care that makes car buying a pleasure.
We know that every journey starts with the right car. Whether it's school drop-off, weekend road trips, or your daily commute, we have the right vehicle for you and your family.
With trusted brands, affordable prices, and a team that treats you like family, finding your next car has never been so easy.
We pride ourselves on personal attention and quality service. Bassett Motors, where our customers send their friends.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I want to tell you, Lady Blue and I, we got a lot of miles together, but you know what? You and I got a lot of miles together as well. And all I want to do is bring to you the information on how we maintain a domestic supply of food and fuel for future generations. So I'm going to continue to travel the world and unearth the stories that make it possible that we can live in a free United States of America.
I'm Corey Heppola, and a long time ago, I left my small town for a big city. Now I wonder, what would it be like to move rural?
Just because we're small doesn't mean we can't have nice things.
This is my town.
Man, it's mad love up in here.
Sunday night, 6:30 on Beck TV.